Hi guys, and welcome back to the Crochet Tour YouTube channel. In today's video I'm bringing you another new crochet tutorial, and this time it's for a game that I've not created a tutorial for before. So it's Ooblets, this tutorial, and I've been playing Ooblets recently. I got it a couple of weeks ago and I've really been loving it. It's actually been a while since I found a game that I'm like really excited to play every day, and I really look forward to playing it, and I've been spending a lot of hours on it, to be honest. So yeah, I thought this was the perfect game for me to create some patterns for, because if you haven't played Ooblets before, it's kind of like similar to Pokemon in the sense that you've got all these different animal characters and you can collect them, but it's kind of different to Pokemon because you grow them with seeds instead of catching them with a ball. So yeah, slightly different process of obtaining your Ooblets, but kind of similar concept in terms of you know, kind of like the Pokédex, having a list of potential creatures that you can collect. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for Fleeble. This is the first one I decided to do just because I quite like the look of Fleeble, and also I think that even if you don't play Ooblets, this might be a pattern that you'd want to do anyway, because I think the character looks really cute. So these are the Fleebles I've made. So you can see that I made the common version, and then I also made the uncommon version, and there's also a gleamy version of each of the Ooblets. So it's kind of like Pokemon, how you get the shiny version. That's what the gleamy version is. I haven't actually made that one yet, but you can make whichever one you want. You just need to substitute the colours for whichever colours are required for the particular Fleeble that you want to make. So there is a 360 view. I'd say these are quite beginner friendly. As you can see, they're quite small and smaller than my usual patterns, because I just wanted to make something a bit smaller and quicker and simpler to make. So if you're fairly beginner level, I think you could have a go at these. And also the good thing about these is the face is pretty simple, because I've just used safety eyes and a little bit of embroidery thread for the mouth. So if you're not very good at doing faces, then this might be a good one for you because it's not too complicated. But yeah, without further ado, let me show you what you'll be needing for this tutorial. For this tutorial, you'll be needing aran weight yarn in the following colours: cream and red. Now obviously, depending on which variation of Fleeble you're making, you can change those colours as required. You'll be needing your crochet hook. I've got a 4mm crochet hook to go with my aran weight yarn, but if you're using lighter or heavier yarn, you can size up or down as required. You'll be needing some scissors, a stitch marker. I've just got an offcut of yarn for this. You'll need some safety eyes. These are 6mm safety eyes that I have here. You can always use yarn or black embroidery thread for the eyes if you don't have safety eyes, so it's not 100% necessary. Then you'll be needing your yarn needle for sewing things together. You may want some pins to help you when you're sewing things, but it's not completely necessary. You'll definitely be needing some stuffing. You'll need more than this, but this is just to demonstrate. And then lastly, you'll be needing some black embroidery thread. This is for adding the mouth details. We're going to start off by crocheting the head. So in our red colour, we're going to start by doing 6 single crochets in a magic circle. So that's round 1, and then for round 2 we're going to work an increase in every single stitch all the way around, and that'll get us up to 12 single crochets. Okay, so at the end of round 2 you should have 12 single crochets all the way around. I'm just going to talk you through the next few rounds now, because it's just mixtures of single crochets and increases. So round 3, single crochet increase, and repeat that pattern 5 more times to get you up to 18 single crochets at the end of the round. Round 4, 2 single crochet increase, repeat 5 more times to get you up to 24 single crochets at the end of the round. Round 5, single crochet all the way around. Round 6, 3 single crochet increase, repeat 5 more times to get you up to 30 single crochets at the end of the round. Round 7, single crochet all the way around. Round 8, 4 single crochet increase, repeat 5 more times to get you up to 36 single crochets at the end of the round. Then rounds 9 to 11, so 3 rounds in total, single crochet all the way around. I'll meet you in round 12, as that'll be the final round for the head, and we'll be doing something slightly different in that round. So I'm just about to start round 12 now. This is going to be our final round in our red colour, and there's going to be 2 slightly different techniques that we're using in this round. So the first one is that we're going to be doing double crochets instead of single crochets, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then the other thing that we're going to be doing is, instead of working in both loops like normal, we're going to just be working in the front loops for this entire round, and that's because we're going to come back and reattach some cream yarn into those unworked back loops, and we're going to start creating the kind of bottom of the mushroom shape and then create the rest of the body following on from that. So let's start round 12. So we're going to start off by doing 5 double crochets in the front loops only. So we're going to yarn over, go into the front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. So I'm just going to mark the first double crochet just so I remember where the round started, and then I'm going to carry on. So I need to do 4 more double crochets in the front loops. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to work a slip stitch into the next front loop. So just like this, just do a slip stitch, and you're just going to repeat that pattern 5 more times, so that'll get you all the way around. So I'll just show you once more. Do our 5 double crochets, and then a slip stitch. So I'll meet you when you've done that pattern all the way around. I've just completed round 12, so this is what it's looking like now. I'm just going to remove my stitch marker because I don't need that now, and then I'm just going to cut my yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail. Pull that yarn tail through like this, and then just do a bit of knotting on the inside to secure that in place. Okay, and then you can cut the tail if you want, or you can just push it on the inside. It doesn't really matter what you do with it. So our next step is going to be to add the eyes and the mouth. So grab your black embroidery thread and your black safety eyes. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is place your safety eyes. So if you want it to look like mine, then you can position them between rounds 9 and 10, roughly 6 single crochets apart. And if you just want to know how to count the rounds, just take a look at the top here. You should be able to see that round 1 there, like this, and just count every sort of bump that you see, and that is a new round. So we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so this is round 9, this is round 10, so that's how you can see which rounds to place your safety eyes in. And then yeah, you can see that we've roughly got 6 single crochets between the two. So that's the eyes. And then the next thing that you're going to want to do is cut a small length of your black embroidery thread and grab your yarn needle, and we're going to add the mouth now between the eyes. I'm just going to add a little V-shaped mouth now. Just like that. And when you've got one that you're happy with, you can just knot the black embroidery thread at the back, making sure not to pull too tightly because you may misshape the mouth. And there you have it, and it's completely up to you again what you do with the tails, if you cut them or not. I might cut the longer one because I might actually use that again in the future, but the shorter one I think I'm just going to leave that dangling on the inside like this. The next thing we're going to move on to is making the spots that we're going to then sew to Fleeble's head, and it's probably easier to do it at this point because you can access still the inside of the head, whereas if we left this till last then you wouldn't be able to sort of use the inside of the head to help with your sewing. So again, it's completely up to you. You can just do this bit at the end, but I prefer to do it at this point in time. So what we're going to need is we're going to need 2 of these bigger spots, and we're going to need 4 of the smaller ones, and all of them are going to be worked in the cream colour. So I'm going to take you through now how to crochet the big one first and then the small one. So for the big spot, we're going to do 4 single crochets in a magic circle. So that's round 1. Then for round 2, you're just going to increase in each single crochet, and that will get you up to 8 at the end of round 2. So there you have it, that's round 2 complete, and that's all of the actual crochet that we need to do. So you can now cut your yarn, leaving a tail long enough for sewing. And if you know me, you know I always end up leaving probably too much, but I'd rather have too much than too little. And now I'm going to show you a really neat way to finish this off. So I'm going to be finishing this off with a fake single crochet, and I'm going to be working it over the top of this real single crochet here. So what I'm going to do is flip my work around. I'm going to skip the next single crochet. Apologies, I know this isn't showing up very well on camera because of the light yarn colour, but skip the next single crochet, go into the one after that, insert your hook, pull through the yarn tail. Then go back to that final single crochet of round 2, go into the loop that's closest to us currently, so this one here, and then pull that yarn tail through once more. And what you will hopefully be able to see is that this looks a lot neater now, so it's a lot harder for you to tell where the round ended. So that's why I like to finish off with a fake single crochet when I'm making these spots. If you want to, you can just slip stitch into the next stitch to finish off, and that would be an easier way of finishing off. But yeah, I just think this is the neatest way that you can do it. So that is the bigger spot. You need 2 of these, and you can also cut this little tail at the back as well if you've crocheted over it. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to show you how to make the smaller one. So for the smaller spot, you're going to do round 1 exactly the same as what we did for the bigger one, so just 4 single crochets in a magic circle. Then cut your yarn, leaving a tail for sewing. And again, this time we're going to finish off with a fake single crochet again, but I'm going to do something slightly different for the smaller spots, so I'll show you this now. So when I'm doing the fake single crochets for the smaller spots, because we have so few single crochets in the round, so you can kind of see that this almost makes more of a semicircle shape than it does an actual circle shape like the bigger spot did. Then what that means is instead of skipping this first single crochet, going into this one here and creating a fake single crochet over the top of this existing one, I'm actually going to create an additional single crochet, fake single crochet that is, that will sit here, and that will kind of round off the circle a lot more neatly than doing it the other way would. So the only difference this time is instead of skipping the next single crochet and going into the one after that, I'm actually going to go into the next single crochet, so don't skip any, and just pull that yarn tail through. And then I'm going to go back to the first single crochet of the round in the closest loop to me currently and pull that yarn tail through again. So again, you can see that that really finishes it off a lot neater, and it's harder to tell where the round ended. So again, just as a point of comparison, again, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this due to the light colour of the yarn, but in this circle there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets, including the fake one, whereas with the smaller circle there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 5 here, and that is including again the fake single crochet. So on the smaller one we've kind of added an additional fake single crochet, on the bigger one we've created a fake single crochet over an existing one. So I hope that all makes sense, and the only reason I do it is because I try out so many different ways of doing all of these pieces that I create, and I just found this to be the neatest way of doing it. So yeah. So you're going to need 2 bigger spots, 4 smaller ones. Come back when you've got them and I'll show you how to sew them to Fleeble. Here's all my spots. I'm going to start off by sewing one of the big ones, and I'm just going to try and position these in a way that looks somewhat random. And again, you can use pins if you want at this stage. I'm personally not going to, but the option is there if you want to. And what I'm going to do is I've got my yarn needle, just going to position this somewhere, so here maybe, and I'm going to start sewing this down, and I'm going to use the fact that I've got access to the inside of the head to my advantage, so I can just go directly into the red stitch and then come back out through a nearby red stitch and then into the cream stitches above. And I'm just going to go round the entire spot doing the same thing. Okay, so I think this is going to be my last one, and that is the first big spot sewn down. So that's what it looks like. And what you can do is you can do some knotting on the inside. You could do it at this stage, or you could wait until you've got all your spots sewn down and you could knot them all at the same time. So I'm probably going to wait until I've got all of mine sewn down and then knot off all of the yarn tails on the inside. So basically just do the same thing with all of the other spots, so just positioning them randomly around the top of the head, and come back when you've done that and I'll show you what to do next. So I finished sewing all the spots down. This is what it looks like, and I've done a lot of knotting off on the inside, and I decided to leave the yarn tails inside. Again, you can cut them if you want, but they shouldn't really be showing through, so I'm just going to leave them. So now we're ready to move on to the next stage, which is reattaching our cream yarn into the available back loops from round 11. So if you grab your cream yarn, let's do that now. So it doesn't really matter which loop you attach into first. I would just recommend that you probably do it opposite to where you've placed the face details, just because this is going to be the messiest part of the body, so it's just better if this is positioned at the back, but it's not the end of the world. So hopefully what you should be able to see is these available back loop bumps that we can work into. So I'm just going to select this one and reattach my cream yarn into it. Okay, so now we're ready to start the first round of the body. So for this round we're going to be doing 4 single crochets, then a decrease, and repeating that pattern all the way around to get us down to 30 single crochets. So I'll show you me doing that to start with. So 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, and then a decrease. And I'll show you that again. 1. Sorry, this yarn tail's getting on my nerves. 2, 3, 4, decrease. So I'll repeat that pattern 4 more times and meet you at the end of the first round. So I finished round 1 and this is what it's looking like. I'm just going to talk you through the next few rounds because it's just mixtures of single crochets and decreases now. So for round 2 you're going to do 3 single crochet decrease and repeat 5 more times to get you down to 24 single crochets at the end of the round. Then for round 3 you're going to do 2 single crochet decrease, repeat 5 more times to get you down to 18 single crochets at the end of the round. Then round 4, single crochet decrease and repeat 5 more times to get you down to 12 single crochets at the end of the round. I'll meet you at the end of round 4 as we'll then need to stuff and then carry on with the remaining rounds. I finished round 4 and stuffed firmly, as you can see, so this is what it's currently looking like. We're just going to carry on doing some more rounds in cream, and again I'm going to talk you through these because it's nothing, no new techniques or anything that you haven't done previously. So for round 5 it's single crochet decrease and repeat 3 more times to get you down to 8 single crochets at the end of the round. Round 6 to 7 single crochet all the way around. Round 8 increase all the way around to get you up to 16. Round 9 3 single crochet increase, repeat 3 more times to get you up to 20 single crochets at the end of the round. Rounds 10 to 12 single crochet all the way around. Then round 13 decrease all the way around. I'll meet you at the end of round 13 as we'll then need to stuff up the top up the stuffing. Sorry, I said stuff up the topping, I meant top up the stuffing. There we go, I managed to say that. And then for round 14 we'll do that together and finish off the main body of this. So this is what Fleeble's looking like after I finished round 13 and added some extra stuffing. So now we're just going to do the final round, which is round 14 together. So we're going to do 5 decreases for this round. Okay, and I'll just double check that that's all been done correctly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yep, we've got our 5 decreases. I'm just going to cut my yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail. And then I'm going to grab my yarn needle and close up the hole. So to do that, I'm just going to weave my yarn tail through the front loop of each of those final 5 stitches, starting from the first one here. Just pull as you do this. Okay, just pull tightly, you should see the hole close up, and then you can weave your yarn tail through to the back of Fleeble and then snip that. Okay, so we're definitely getting there with this. The remaining things to do are to make the arms and the legs and sew these on, so let's move on to that now. I'm going to do the arms first. They're very small. This is what one of them looks like, and I'm going to do the second one with you now. It will be very quick to do. So for round 1, we're going to start off with 4 single crochets in a magic circle. Then for rounds 2 to 3, you're just going to single crochet all the way around. So in total, we're going to be doing 8 single crochets. Can be a little bit tight, so just take your time. So that's round 2 complete. Now I'm going to do round 3. Okay, so that's round 3 complete. I'm going to cut this tail to get rid of it because it's getting on my nerves. And then we're going to just finish this off quickly by doing 2 slip stitches across the top of the arm. So working into the single crochets that are kind of opposite each other. So this one and this one. And then into the next 2. And that is the arm complete. So then you can cut your yarn, leaving a tail for sewing. So come back when you've got 2, I'll show you how to sew them to the body. So I've already sewn down one of the arms, as you can see, and I'm going to do the other one with you now. So you just want to position them at the sides of the body like this. You can use pins if you want, I'm not going to. And I'm just going to do a couple of whip stitches along the top of the arm to start with. So that's my first one, and then I'm just going to do my second one. Like that. And then I'm going to sew down a couple of stitches at the back of the arm. Like that. Then I'm going to weave my yarn tail back to the front and do a couple at the front as well. Okay, I'm just going to double check the positioning is okay. And then you can just weave the yarn tail through to the back and snip it to get rid of it. I've just jumped ahead and made the legs because it's another really simple pattern that I'm just going to talk you through now. So for round 1, you're just going to do 5 single crochets in a magic circle. Rounds 2 to 3, single crochet all the way around. Round 4, decrease 3 single crochets. That'll get you down to 4 single crochets at the end of the round. Then rounds 5 to 7, single crochet all the way around. Make 2 and make sure that you leave a long enough tail for sewing. And the final step will be to sew these to the bottom of Fleeble. So I've already sewn down one of the legs. I'm just going to do the final one here with you now. So once again, you can use pins if you want. I'm going to choose not to. And I'm just going to try and roughly hold that in a position that looks somewhat symmetrical. And then I'm going to just start whip stitching all the way around to sew that down. And I may do a few extra stitches even after I've gone all the way around. Okay, so that's one round done, and I'm just going to do a few extra stitches, I think. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Oops. Just going to weave that yarn tail through. And then I can snip both tails and then we are finished. So I'll show you a better view of my finished Fleeble now. So this is what my finished Fleeble looks like. And from the back. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If there's any other ooblets you want me to make, then do tell me. But otherwise, I shall see you in the next video. Bye guys.